What's going on, Neon Nation, and welcome back to the Neon Arcade for some more Cyberpunk and Cyberpunk 2077 lore. Today we're diving into an element of the lore which was shown off heavily in the deep dive demo, which is NetWatch, cybersecurity, the net, and the Blackwall. We're going to unpack NetWatch's role in 2013 and 2020, and move on to what they've transitioned into doing in 2077 with some theorizing to go along with it. NetWatch is a policing organization which was initially a private entity heavily sponsored by corporations. Founded in 2013 in a joint US and Euro theater treaty, NetWatch is tasked with patrolling the net in search for illegal activity, rogue hackers, and general computer crime. Netcop netrunners work in tandem with corporations, the government, and large organizations in this attempt to protect all the beats of the net. These beats have expanded far and wide and cover cities, regions, and continents. Arresting anyone associated in illegal activity on the net is the role of NetWatch, but they're also known to use black programs and malicious software to maim their opposition if necessary. NetWatch operators are paid a base salary but collect bounties on felons captured while on duty. They do have specific titles to distinguish their efficacy, including wolves, weasels, and icemen. Operating anonymously is important for operators, and thus each of their icons are the same within the net. Netcops typically run in packs of 2 or 3. If a netcop is running by himself, he's either very good or very cocky. Just as an aside, Bryce Mosley, the netcop from the deep dive demo, seems to be operating with only the help of the animals to stop the Voodoo Boys from breaching the net, and he also seems to be a wolf based off of some of the comments of these gang members. The job description of NetWatch operators are to immobilize net criminals by involving the local police or sometimes corporate security to go pick them up for arrest after they've been tracked down. Netcops can use programs that can freeze a netrunner's cyberdeck in a loop, making him or her unable to jack out until the program allows for it. This is the digital equivalent to handcuffs and makes arrests far easier. When things do not go as smoothly as this, net showdowns occur where black ice and malicious programs are traded like gunfire between ops and other netrunners. Rache Bartmoss was a particular thorn in the side of NetWatch in 2020, a man who was coined as one of the greatest hackers in the world and who invented the Demon and Hound series of programs. Rache was a mastermind netrunner and was keen in adding his own digital footprint into the net by creating backdoors and entrances in locations only he knew about so he could traverse the net with covert chaos. Knowing how risky this was, he set up a dead man switch just in case he got flatlined that would in turn release a virus known as the Rabids, a program which released self-replicating rogue AIs into the net. 2 weeks after Rache was actually killed in the early 2020s, the switch triggered and the data crash occurred. While some AIs can be fairly docile, the malware unleashed by Rache was far from it, and by 2022, 78.2% of the net was infected by the data crash virus. Naturally, this was a huge security concern for NetWatch and the corporations who had interest in protecting their data and secrets, and although NetWatch attempted to quarantine areas of the net and contain the ability for this virus to spread, by 2045 they had lost the battle. The net is fully sectioned off by 2077, where America now relies on subnets constructed in the 2030s in reclaimed cities. These city nets are far more secure than the old net. Moving on, we also have the Blackwall. The Blackwall is a wall of ice or counter-intrusion software enacted to keep the AIs unleashed by Bartmoss isolated within the net. In 2025, Ald Cunningham, Johnny Silverhand's ex-girlfriend, established what's called the Ghost World in the ruins of Hong Kong, which the Chinese government put a 100-foot wall around to keep isolated. Last we really know about Alt was that her consciousness was absorbed by the Soul Killer, a black program developed by Arasaka to imprison netrunners in oddly the same year NetWatch was founded in 2013. This is where it gets interesting. By 2026, AI start to occasionally creep out of the old net to seek other AIs to join this ghost world. It may seem that leading up to 2077, AIs have been looking to pull other sentient AIs into the ghost world, which presumably lies behind the Black Wall for a very particular reason. What's even more intriguing is that at the end of the Cyberpunk 2077-2019 demo, Ald Cunningham herself is trying to breach the Black Wall to meet with Silverhand, V, and the Voodoo Boys. Let me know your theories of how this may play out in 2077, and for more Cyberpunk content, join Neon Nation by subscribing to the Neon Arcade.